RHOBH cast reportedly sick of Kyle Richards and trying to take her down. As the only original star still on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Kyle Richards has seniority over her fellow co-stars. There's no question about that. According to a concerning new report, many cast members have had it with the brunette beauty, which could explain why Dorrit Kemsley and Sutton Strack are coming hard for their former ally. The women are truly sick of her always acting like the queen bee and not being completely transparent, a source dished to Oak Magazine. Some of them definitely are attempting to take her down this season. However, she's a producer on the show. The insider stressed before adding that the role means she tends to typically get what she wants, even if that's unfair to her co-stars. Indeed, Kyle has had a relatively decent edit, considering the media storm that's engulfed her life over the past year. Kyle's relationship with husband Mauricio Umansky flatlined, and they parted ways before countless rumors emerged that she was in a relationship with country music singer Morgan Wade. Kyle avoids the tough conversations. Instead of diving into reality, she's evaded questions from her co-stars, the media, and even producers, which has rubbed fans the wrong way. Even so, she remains the focal cast member despite clearly not sharing the details of her life. According to the above report, the rest of the cast has declared that RHOBH is now Kyle's show due to the continued emphasis on her and her getting her way. It makes sense that the ladies would be upset about the state of the show nowadays because viewers are in the same boat. 14 seasons is a long time to follow a cast member. By Real Housewives standards, it's unheard of. It's evident that Kyle gets a decent edit, even if she deserves to be held accountable for her actions. We've already touched upon why Kyle should be fired, but only time will tell whether the producers will make that call. The cast is coming for Kyle so far this season. Despite her tenure and pull with production, Kyle has been thrust onto the hot seat this season, with Dorrit reading her for filth at every opportunity. It's changed since the days of their nauseating double act, but the series needs to make some significant changes to remain relevant. The additions of Bozoma St. John and Jennifer Tilly have helped give the current season some new energy, but some veteran cast members need to go. The other thing to consider is whether this cast would even work without Kyle. There are so many variables, and we're sure Kyle would like nothing more than for the series to fall like a deck of cards if producers continue without her. What are your thoughts on the report? Is it evident that people are out to get Kyle? It was a breezy morning in Beverly Hills when the whispers started. Behind the towering gates of their sprawling mansions, text chains lit up with a flurry of activity. The ladies of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills had grown weary, no, exhausted, of Kyle Richards' reign as Queen Bee. And for the first time in years, there was talk of a revolt. She's been running this group for too long. Dorrit Kemsley vented to Erica Jane over matcha-lattes at a posh Melrose Avenue cafe. Dorrit's Louis Vuitton tote perched on the chair beside her, while Erica's Fendi sunglasses reflected the morning sun. She's always inserting herself, playing the victim, and then acting like she's above it all. Erica, fresh off another legal headline, nodded in agreement. The thing with Kyle is that she's the perfect actress. She cries on cue, flips the narrative, and suddenly we're the bad guys. She's mastered this game. Not for long, Dorrit said, her voice lowering conspiratorially. Some of us have been talking. We think it's time to shift the power dynamic. Erica raised a perfectly sculpted eyebrow. Go on. Meanwhile, across town, Sutton Strack and Garcelle Beauvais were having their own sidebar. Over glasses of rosé in Sutton's chic living room, the topic of conversation was, you guessed it, Kyle Richards. I'm tired of her meddling, Sutton drawled. absent-mindedly rearranging her Hermes throw pillows. She pretends to be everyone's friend, but the second she doesn't agree with you, it's a full-on ambush. Garcelle, ever the voice of reason, took a sip of her wine and nodded thoughtfully. Kyle knows how to manipulate the narrative. But you know what? I think her time is up. People see through it now. Do you think the others will join us? Sutton asked. Garcelle smirked. Let's just say I've been planting seeds. Back at Kyle's home, the Richards-Umansky mansion was anything but serene. Kyle had noticed a shift. The group texts had grown quieter. The friendly banter during filming breaks had turned stilted. Even Teddy Mellencamp, her loyal sidekick, had seemed distant lately. Am I imagining things? Kyle asked Mauricio as they sat by their outdoor fire pit. She traded her usual glam for a casual hoodie and yoga pants, her face bare of makeup, a rare sight. Something feels off. Mauricio, ever the doting husband, looked up from his phone. Maybe they're just jealous. You've been the center of this group for so long. That's gotta come with some envy. Kyle sighed, maybe, but it feels more calculated this time. The cast's next group event was a charity luncheon hosted by Lisa Rinna. Rinna, sensing the brewing tension, decided to lean into the chaos. After all, stirring the pot was her specialty. Welcome, ladies. Rinna greeted each of them with air kisses and a mischievous twinkle in her eye. The table was set with extravagant floral arrangements, and a string quartet played softly in the background. But the true entertainment was about to begin. As the women settled in, Kyle couldn't ignore the undercurrent of tension. Garcelle and Sutton exchanged knowing glances. Dorit and Erica whispered behind their menus. Even Crystal Minkoff, usually neutral, seemed unusually guarded. Halfway through the meal, Rinna's eyes lit up. She clinked her glass for attention. Ladies, let's play a game. I'm calling it Truth or Spill. Everyone gets to ask one question, and you have to answer honestly. No passes. The women exchanged wary looks, but Rinna's enthusiasm was contagious. The game began innocuously enough. Favorite vacation spots, guilty pleasures, but it didn't take long for things to turn messy. Kyle, Dorit said sweetly when her turn came, do you think you're the glue that holds this group together? Kyle froze, her smile faltering. I'd like to think I'm an important part of it. Why? Dorit's smile was razor sharp. Oh, no reason. It's just interesting how some people see themselves as indispensable. The air grew thick with tension. Erica seized the opportunity. Kyle, do you ever feel like you dominate the group's dynamics? Excuse me. Kyle's voice rose slightly. Just saying, Erica shrugged. You're always in the middle of everything. Garcelle jumped in. And sometimes it feels like you use your position to deflect from your own issues. The table erupted into chaos. Kyle's eyes darted around the room, searching for an ally. But even Rinna, who usually backed her up, looked amused rather than supportive. I can't believe this, Kyle said, her voice shaking. Is this some kind of intervention? Maybe it's a wake-up call, Sutton said softly but firmly. The fallout from the luncheon was swift. Social media buzzed with speculation. Fans dissected every interaction, every passive-aggressive comment, and every side-eye. Kyle, feeling cornered, turned to Teddy for support. Over lunch at a secluded Beverly Hills bistro, she unloaded her frustrations. They're trying to take me down, Kyle said, her voice cracking. I've been nothing but a good friend to all of them, and this is how they repay me. Teddy, ever the loyal ally, reached across the table. Kyle, you've been the heart of this group for years. Don't let them make you question that. They're just jealous because you're the star. Kyle nodded, but the reassurance felt hollow. For the first time in years, she felt truly vulnerable. As filming continued, the tension only escalated. Private conversations were leaked to the press. Old feuds were resurrected. And through it all, Kyle found herself increasingly isolated. The season's final cast trip to Aspen was the tipping point. A heated argument during a group dinner ended with Kyle storming out in tears. The other women, watching her retreating figure, exchanged uneasy glances. "Did we go too far?" Crystal asked hesitantly. "Maybe," Garcelle admitted, "but sometimes the truth hurts." By the time the reunion rolled around, the cast was more divided than ever. Andy Cohen, sensing the palpable tension, dove right in. "Kyle, there's been a lot of talk this season about your role in the group. Do you feel like you've been targeted?" Kyle took a deep breath, her eyes glistening with tears. "I do, Andy. It feels like I've been painted as this puppet master, but all I've ever tried to do is keep this group together." Garcelle's eyebrow arched. "Keeping us together or controlling the narrative? There's a difference." The debate raged on, each woman airing her grievances. By the end of the reunion, one thing was clear. The dynamics of the group had shifted irrevocably. Kyle, once the unshakable center of the RHOBH universe, was now on uncertain ground. And for the rest of the cast, the takedown was both a victory and a warning. In Beverly Hills, alliances change like the seasons. And as the cameras rolled on, one question lingered. Was this the end of Kyle Richards as the group's matriarch, or merely the beginning of her comeback?